Yo, do you guys remember these? I used to love Bop Its, but I was never really good at it though. For some reason, every time it would tell me to do the next thing, I would just forget what it just told me to do. My head and hands just weren't fast enough to keep up and do the right things. But if you've ever played Bop It before, the premise is that there's a little guy inside of here telling you what to do, whether it's to bop it or twist it or pull it. And it does it in a different order every single time, and if you weren't quick enough or you did the wrong one, you would lose the game. And so you might think I'm a nerd for this, but I try to look for Jesus in everything and everywhere. Even in little things and silly things like Bop It, Jesus and Bop It actually have something in common. And to show you what that is, let's open back up to the book of Hebrews where we looked at last week in Hebrews chapter 4, verses 14 through 16. So it says, "So then, since we have a great high priest who has entered heaven, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold firmly to what we believe. This high priest of ours understands our weaknesses, for he faced all of the same testings that we do, yet he did not sin. So let us come boldly to the throne of our gracious God. There we will receive his mercy, and we will find grace to help us when we need it most." So guys, we talked last week about how Hebrews can be really challenging to understand, but it's very, very rewarding when we do. But these verses here are pretty clear. They confirm that Jesus isn't up in heaven saying, twist it, but he tells us and gives us guidance on how we make the most of our lives. When we're feeling jealousy creep in and Jesus says, stop it. When we are tempted to look at something we shouldn't, Jesus says, resist it. When we get angry and we want to blow up at someone, Jesus says, cool it. So like bop it, stop it, twist it is resist it, and pull it is cool it. But here's the thing. What Hebrews 4 is telling us is that Jesus doesn't just say stop it, resist it, or cool it. Jesus says stop it because he did it too when he wanted to say something mean. Jesus says resist it because he resisted it too when he was tempted. And Jesus says cool it because he did too when he wanted to blow up on someone. Guys, sometimes here in Collide, we say it this way, that Jesus is the role model of all role models. He's as good as it gets because he felt everything that we've ever felt and responded perfectly every single time. Sometimes that can be hard to wrap our minds around, that what you have felt, Jesus felt it. If you feel it, Jesus felt it. And Jesus knows the best way to respond every time. That's the beauty of verse 16. Because Jesus understands what we feel, we can come boldly to the throne and ask for help. Jesus knows how you feel, cares about how you feel, and wants to help you respond like him. Guys, there was this one time for me where I was in school, and have you ever been in a situation in school where your teacher tells you that you have to be quiet and you can't talk, you have to be doing your work? Well, it was a situation like that, and one of my friends next to me told me this hilarious joke. It was one of the funniest things I've heard all day, and I was trying so hard not to laugh. And then my friend next to me started laughing, and of course then I let out my laugh a little bit more, and my teacher heard me, and I was the one that got in trouble. Not my friend who told me the joke, or not my friend next to me who laughed first. I was the one who got in trouble. And guys, I can't tell you how much I wanted to just explain what happened and fight for the fact that I shouldn't be the one that got in trouble and kind of freak out on my teacher. But Jesus tells us in those situations to pull it and cool it in those situations. And I had a really hard time doing that. And so what is a situation in your life right now that you need to think more about how you should respond and not just freak out or be upset and fight back at that other person? You don't need to respond alone. You can come boldly to the throne. Ask Jesus what you need. Ask him to help you be patient and receive his mercy and grace, and then just respond like Jesus.